Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we got to talk about it. Stock market record highs. Where should you be building your wealth quickly? I know, usually take 20 years, 30 years, but there are a few stocks that are moving rapidly, and I'm not talking about 50 to 100% in a short period of time. What's a short period of time? A year, two, or three? That's right. You are missing out, ladies and gentlemen. So that should be something you need to check off your checklist. Also, you're running out of time. 1 year, 3 months to get everything in order, including your credit. Investments matter, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And I know a few of you are doing the salsa dance, but before you understand what the salsa dance is, in case you're new here, please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information or needs this information because it's getting crazy out here. 200 more people are being laid off by GM. General Motors, ladies and gentlemen, and there are other layoffs happening right underneath your feet and by our government. So therefore, you have problems incoming for a few of you. Not everybody, but it is impacting millions of people. And this economy and the way things are being ran is running people out of jobs. So, what do you have to do? Make sure that you have a job. And oftentimes, you may have to be your own self employed person. That's what stocks are available for. This is why you may have a 401k. This is why you make investments along the way, buying real estate or commercial buildings or trailer park or storage or bonds or put money in a simple savings account. But you know you need to make money in other areas besides you working. And unfortunately, less and less jobs are forcing people to work for themselves. Let me see who's in the house tonight, because let it be known we do have a chat room here and a member of the channel has arrived. Mr. Worldwide 2 is here in the house, getting ready to go on his worldwide trip. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we're talking about here. We do this. So get your pen, pads, and papers ready because you never know what somebody is going to say during our chat rooms, especially when we're talking about doing the salsa dance. And stock market is, as he would say, on fuego. That's what we're talking about. It's on fire. The Dow Jones all-time record high. Again, there's several ways that you can make money from all-time record highs. You can do option income trading, the wheel strategy, as post-retirement travel does. Or you can actually do currency trading or the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and or the S&P 500. All choices are yours. So when the stock market was rising today, you could have been making money. And not just a little bit, because it rose quite a bit in a few of these stocks. So if you were holding something like AMD, for instance, if you're holding something like Nvidia, the tech stocks, you might have been able to get a pretty good payday for a few hours work. Just saying. All right, here we go. Are we tired of winning in the stock market yet? Nope, we're not ready. We're not done. 1 year, 3 months to go for more winning on the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the reason you have to back up the truck every time it dips. We're back, team. That's exactly right. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Remember last week when we were sitting there saying we had 2 days? No, this week, Monday and Wednesday. Two huge dips that you had an opportunity to get in. And now that some of these stocks you could have been in, or you could have just had SPY or QQQ or the Dow 100, either way, you could have done damage. And never mind about a few other stocks that aren't even on there. But I'm just going to say, just the big boys are handling business. Let's just get things straight. There's a small amount of stocks that is heavily weighted that's lifting all of the indexes. It's not just the Nasdaq. I mean the Dow. All of them have hit their record highs this year. And I expect them to continue. We told you how this works before. This is not rocket science. You're going to have Federal Reserve doing rate cuts. You're going to allow corporations to refi at a lower rate, and they're going to buy their shares of stock. We already went over this in case you're new here. This is what they do. So we already know, like Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, a year and a half ago, already committed to 3 years worth of buying back their shares of stock in the billions, ladies and gentlemen. So, needless to say, they're helping to push their shares of stock higher along with you because investors always love winners. They're going to keep investing. By the way, Nvidia is still in the 180s, high 180s, as they know, as you guys may be aware. It was predicted to go over 200 in the next, either at the end of 2025 or into early 2026. AMD, because of what they're doing with quantum and the deal with IBM, they're surpassed the stock price of Nvidia. They're already in the twos, the mid twos. They've been roaring, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not just the big boys that you hear mostly about. There's so many things. Tesla, in fact, rolling still, simply because they have a robot that danced a little. But hey, that's good enough for investors. And again, if you're investing and the stock price is going up, you're going to be happy. What's your exit strategy is going to be the next question. So while you're winning on these all-time highs, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to make a decision sooner or later because you just never know when things are going to hit the fan. But I will warn everybody here in the SSN Nation because I need you guys to research. I need you to study a little bit. You need to study what happened in the stock market prior to the Great Depression. That's one thing you need to study. The second thing you need to study, what led to the Great Depression? What was the government doing in 1920s? So, what is our government doing in the 2020s? You may see a parallel. In fact, you will see a parallel. Tariff wars? Check. A booming stock market? Check. The roaring 20s? Well, due to COVID and due to loans, the individual loans they used to give out, or they did give out, some checks that were coming in the mail freely, giving people unemployment checks 3 to 4 times what they should have received. All of that contributed to money falling from the skies, and it was the roaring 20s in 2020 style, 2021, 2022, 2023. Home prices, doubled. That's right. And now prices are high all across the board. And unfortunately, nobody's getting dropped any free money anymore. And now the crunch has begun. Credit is what you're going to need, ladies and gentlemen. And that's something that you can finagle with because it's other people's money. So you're going to have it. Do not go astray. Do not listen to some of these pundits out here who says you don't need credit, you don't need to, you need it, because you never know what is going to happen next. Here we go, interest rate cut next week again. Exactly. That's another reason the stock market is going to continue to rise. Now, I'm going to caution everybody again because I want you guys to understand. When in this just a year and a half to 2 years ago, when inflation was 2.9, 3%, 3.1, 3.4, Jerome Powell and friends had their meeting. Jerome Powell came on the podium and he said, because the interest rate is nowhere near the inflation rate is nowhere near 2%. That's our point. We have to raise the federal funds rate. Now, all of a sudden, 3% inflation means we reduce the federal funds rate. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you understand, when you reduce the federal funds rate, that is inflationary. So if inflation has moved to 3, which obviously it has, it's actually past that, but it's in the threes, and you increase the money supply, you allow loans, which is money out of thin air, to also impact your economy. That's inflationary. That also means our bond rates, which was 3.95 on Wednesday, that's below 4. That should be a flashing red light as well. That means any of your savings also goes down, but home prices could go lower. And now you could actually somehow have an 80% of the population who live paycheck to paycheck may have a few buyers that will buy homes. And again, that could be inflationary and will be inflationary as well. So you have 1 year, 3 months, ladies and gentlemen, to get your wealth in order. The stock market's only going to be rocking for who knows how long. Again, here in the SSN Nation, I give you guys timelines, 1 year, 3 months. Soon to be in next week, Halloween, next Friday's Halloween, next Saturday is the 1st. We'll be at 1 year and 2 months. So now's the time to use disposable income and enjoy the ride. This ride is going to stop. I'm referring to the stock market. Once the stock market ride is over, then where are investments going to be made? Could it be crypto? Who knows? Could it be a new business venture? Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, once that ride is over, you are going to either have to have a well-paying job, livable wage jobs, 2 people households, maybe 3 or maybe 4, who knows? Energy bills are going to be higher. Health bills are going to be higher. Property taxes are going to be higher. There is no way you're going to be able to just stand pat and sit at your and go look at your account and go, I'm going to be good. Because you never know what's going to be good. There's a hurricane in the Atlantic, the Caribbean portion of the Atlantic. It doesn't look to appear to be a threat to the United States. But they are talking about, can you believe rumors of 175, 180 miles per hour winds with lots of water? So if this is one of the first ones rolling over here, you can imagine out of the next 4 or 5 that's going to hit somewhere in America, there's going to be something that's catastrophic. And insurances will not pay for you. So you're going to be out of luck even if you have insurance most of the time. So these are the reasons you're going to need more wealth than previous generations. You're not going to sit there and just go, oh, I have $2 million or $1 million. I'm good. Them days are over. Because if something huffs and puffs in the eastern part of the United States, it could affect anywhere from 10 to 15 states, could have damage from hurricanes or tornadoes and things like that. That could cripple a nation. Billions of dollars that goes unrepaired. Infrastructure not repaired. Money that needs to go to citizens, FEMA, whoever, is not going to be available. So I'm just warning you right now, you need to take this a little more seriously. So when we talk seriously, are you doing something that's going to increase your wealth? Because if, again, the stock market all of a sudden stays stagnant, doesn't do all-time record highs, and sits around the same price, so now you can't rely on the stock prices increasing rapidly. You can't. Dividends, yes, maybe coming in. So that would be something. But now, do you have other areas that you can utilize? Now, I started talking about trading, stock trading. So whether you want to use BTC, whether you want to use an index, SPY, QQQ, US dollar, it does not matter. You need to learn this skill, ladies and gentlemen, because the stock market, regardless of what happens, will always be around. So if you can use the stock market to make money 5 days and a half, then it's something you should learn. And I, for one, would say it's something your children should learn, because volatility matters. It happens. You can make money up and down. And there's other people that do this. So there's plenty of helpers. And speaking of helpers, let's get started, because I'm talking about, I never traded, because when I looked at a screen, I would see these candles. I don't know what I'm looking at. I would see things, numbers. I'd see some charts. I'd see lines on a chart screen. My friends would say, "You can do this, Eric." I said, "No way, no how." Well, guess what? I didn't realize that that was talking to me. All right. I didn't realize that that's a language. And just like anything, there's a learning curve. Nobody gets to just show up and be able to do this and not have a learning curve. So here is the Candlestick Bible PDF, ladies and gentlemen. I'm putting in the chat room. Oh, yes, it's extensive. But at least now you'll understand what people are looking at, and potentially could lead you on the road to be able to make trading part of your money making adventure. And you don't have to work 8 to 10 hours a day. You don't even have to go in traffic. You only need the tools that we have now. And you know what's a beautiful thing? You can actually set up your chat GPT to tell you, I am trading X amount. Tell it I need updates every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes, every 5 minutes, or anything that's related to what I'm trading. And they'll send you, ChatGPT will send you the information. How crazy is this? Something that has never existed before, that people don't actually have to go searching for info and news, but it can be sent to you. I'm just saying, there's tools now available that makes things somewhat easier at your disposal. Trucker Trey is in the house. Another investor is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline, Trading is Easy. Learn support and resistance levels. Pair that with the EMAs. Okay, Trucker Tracy, this is the thing right here. You just said language that 99% of the population does not know anything about. So, support and resistant levels, most people can hang with that. So, well, let's keep it simple, ladies and gentlemen. Support and resistance, there's candles, for instance. You guys see the red, most people use red, green, or other colors, but you see these candles, and most of the time, that's if you're not in the trade system, you don't, it doesn't mean anything to you. But those candles mean something. So now they have a high over, let's say some people say, go to the 4 hour, see the high. So that would be one resistance level. Then they say, let's go to the hour, for instance, and they mark up the highs and the lows. So you have the two resistant levels, right? And people then can see the support levels where there's a channel in between that it stays within. So you can mark all this stuff. Well, see, all those marks on a screen, you we don't know what those are, right? Until you study, ladies and gentlemen. And he ends it with EMAs. So you can have the moving average of the last 200 candles. So that would be the 200 EMA. You could have the last 20 candles. So that's the 20 EMA. You could have 9 candles for the 9 EMA. But the point is, those are lines on the chart that can help you make a decision on if you want to enter into trades. And the beauty of this is you can win in either direction, but you don't have to play. You can just sit there and whatever you feel comfortable with, but you got to study first, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why in the chat room, I have the Candlestick Bible dropped in the chat room. Everybody, after the live stream, it'll be dropped in the description box when you see this on replay. It's not for the faint at heart. Let's just put it this way. Don't do what the other 99% of people are doing when it comes to creating wealth and making money. Let's just put it that way. Because I'm going to put it also plain and simple. I used to, when I originally started, I used to do something like contest. So I would make a contest have like 3 steps. So I'd make a person have to go sign up, go do something else, and then do something else. Just by those 3 steps that took less than 3 minutes, that eliminated pretty much 90% of anybody that would actually try to go win. Didn't involve money, just you had to do something. 90% of people would do nothing, and there would only be a small pool of people that would even be in the game to actually win, like SSN Nation Gear, for instance. Okay? So that should tell you all you need to know. If people aren't going to do that, then you're going to have elimination just simply by somebody saying, let me go read this candle thing. And by the way, I have it up. So let me go look and see, where is it? How many pages is this thing? So it's small pages, but still nonetheless, it's 168 pages. All right. Because it actually helps you learn. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's an explanation. They show you the candles first so they know you understand what you're looking at. They'll show some formation so you'll understand what you're looking at. Then they go down and start talking about the actual thought process, which is very helpful. Then you can go pull up and go look on your phone. Like I go to investing.com, for instance, right? And investing.com, in fact, let me Let me see if I have it. I can pull it up. I'll show you guys what I'm referring to. Um, investing.com is an app on my phone. And so you can see, pretty simple, right? So this has everything. I mean, well, including ads, all right? But it has everything on here. So you can see right here, it just comes up. So you can pull up a chart on this for everything: US Tech 100, silver, natural gas, gold, Bitcoin, Beyond Meat, AMD, and all that, right? But in fact, I've never even looked at this, but let me go S&P 500. So look, the chart pops up. This is what happened today, right? So here's the thing: they have this chart. You turn sideways, pulls up the chart for the day. Look, it was a very good day. So you could have look at all the green going up and the red going down. So you could have made money on both directions today, which is awesome. The markets are closed, so there's not going to be anything. But this even has like little numbers at the top: the 15-minute candle movement, the 5 minute, the 1 hour, a few. All right. So I never knew that this means something, right? That you can make money from this. People used to tell me, but I was like, I can't get into this. Never mind about it. No reason to get into it. Well, now there's a reason to think about it in a different term. With all the people getting laid off right now, and you don't have any other skill sets, you went to school, you had a nice $150,000 a year job, or not, 75 or 50,000, it doesn't matter. But now you're sitting at home laid off, and you're going to panic. But what if you knew this, you started training yourself 3 months ago or 2 months ago, and now you had a little bit of extra cash, a little extra duffel bag of cash sitting by, and you're sitting there saying, well, let me try. You don't need 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, or 10,000 or 5,000, even a 1,000. Because on Sunday night or Monday, I'm going to do an experiment because I'm not going to use that. I am going to start with something I probably shouldn't start with, but I am feeling very, very confident. I also need to do some other studying from some of the trades I've been doing, but I think I'm almost where I feel comfortable with doing some early morning trading, late night trading for the London time and all that. I think I'm going to be like one of these little geeks about it. But my point is, you could make money daily. You don't have to break the bank. Let's just do something very simple. So let's say a person that makes you have to make $160 a day is $20 an hour, right? So if were able and you say, well, I made $100,000 a year, okay, fine. But the point is, if you are able to make a couple $100 3 or 4 days a week per day, that would go a long way in helping you and your loved ones and your family, right? Stop struggling now, ladies and gentlemen. You have to have tools. And this costs you nothing. Well, I shouldn't say cost you nothing. You can learn on your own. That's why I dropped the Bible candle first. Don't worry, you're going to come through the journey with me. You can also get some demo. Okay? Make it you know what? Let's just make this a simple thing, all right? Let's just trucker trade goes, trading is easy. I left out that hard part. He says trading is easy. See, it's easy for him. It's not easy for everybody. It is easy though. I have to admit, once you start studying and looking at things, there's a lot of people on YouTube that shows people, just talks and shows people, some things. And it's unbelievable how many people, this ecosystem, there is a ton of people, a ton. But again, when I used to look at live streams, I didn't know what the candles meant. So, and the terminologies they were using, I was like, this does not help me. And then they're, They're saying, I did this trade. And I'm like, where? I don't see anything. And again, these guys have hotkeys, meaning all they have to do is press their keyboard. So it doesn't actually show a mouse on the screen or anything. So I was always like lost. And then they're using this terminology that I didn't know nothing about. So I was like, okay, whatever. And it wasn't really proof that they actually was making money. So I really couldn't tell he says the trade was good. Okay, I believe him, but who knows? Now I understand a lot more. And that needs to be you too, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to make money, you're going to have to do it yourself if you have no job, and it's getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer with high paying jobs. So I want you guys to be prepared. 1 year, 2 months, 1 year, 3 months, you're going to be prepared for other things. Right now, you need to be prepared if things go to hell in a handbasket. You will always be able to use this anywhere on the planet. Remember, there's an Asian market, London, United States, just those themselves. You can trade different times, right? Some overlap, just like London and US overlaps. London, Asian, I think also. So those help you. You don't have to just do United States stuff. You can do other things around the globe, meaning you could be any place, anywhere, anytime. And you know, I love that. All right, let's see what else we got going on. I want to hear from you guys. What's up, E? Here, you, my guy. Thank you, man. I'm very happy to see you. I'm doing great. I'm glad you're doing great. Very happy to see you. But I love your first outlay here. This is it right here, ladies and gentlemen. He has it right for you. Write it down. Support and resistant levels. Once you understand how this goes, he is exactly right. In the EMAs, people are using those. And there's several different ones people use. In fact, today I saw somebody using, I didn't even know existed, 15-second indicator. That's crazy. For them, they said, no, not so crazy. They figured out a way to use it along with other moving averages. Then they had then I find out there's a 2 minute. I'm just like, holy smokes. There's all kind of tools that's available to you to help you. And you can't win them all is the thing, but you want to get close enough to where like I said, my goal is 8 out of 10 times that I enter into trades, I want to be able to win. 60, 70, probably good. But I want to make it 80 because then I'll feel a lot better. 70 to 80 is a lot better for me. If it's 90, which I'm not, visions of grandeur is nice, but I'm a newbie. So I have to understand my limitations and act accordingly. All right. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything when I'm just a newbie that just showed up the last 2 months. And actually, I just now started worrying about this trading after the Autobot. I started realizing what it does. I was like, wait a minute, I could probably do better myself. So let me find out if I can. So that was one of the reasons. So we'll see. All right. So everything's going good, man. Can't complain. Very happy to see you. People, please know the difference between trading shares and trading options. Safer and easier to trade shares for sure. Take advantage of paper trading to practice. That's exactly right. Practice, practice, practice with demo mode. Paper trading. Exactly. Exactly. Do not act like a hero. Some people would say, oh, well, you're going to learn by losing your money. No, 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 no. That's not a thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's just a thing for the guys that know how to do it to take your money, right? Like I said, I call this a poker thing. Guys will say, you don't know how to play poker. You'll say, I don't know how to play poker. Some guys would be like, don't worry, man. You can lose a little bit to learn how to play. I'm like, hold on. Hold on. That is not my philosophy. My philosophy is hold on. Let's go over here. You need to read some stuff. You need to find out for the start each hand. You need to know the grading of each hand. for starters. You can't just show up and be like, "Oh yeah, I got two pair. I think that's good." No, you need to know every hand that can beat you. You just don't show up and get on-demand lessons with your hard-earned money, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So, that's what we're talking about here. So, I agree with that 120%. Businesses in the house. The seamless genius is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And brings her tagline this evening. Hey, boss, happy Friday. What's good? Well, speaking of what's good, I got to tell you guys something. You guys know that the Autobot. In fact, I got something for you, business and everybody else. I was showing it off just yesterday. Sorry, Wednesday. Here we go. That'll be the new one when I come online. But again, let me tell you guys something. You know the gold, XAU USD. You know the gold market dropped earlier this week. Remember what I was saying about that Autobot? It seems to be great when the market is trending down. All right? So, needless to say, I did not have the bot on because I'm not trying to really mess with that right now. I'm trying to learn this actually how to trade. So a person had 800 and some odd dollars in their account. They cut their bot on, and that day that the bot went from like I can't remember what it was, 4,300 down to 4,100 and something. Yes, I'm going to tell you what happened, but it's crazy because this is once in a lifetime. $36,000 when they ran it all night because it was dropping. Crazy. Yeah, I know. I know. It's expected when it drops, it goes up, right? If it trends down, it's killer. So, and this also brings into yes, you see things on the screen. If you want to get the bot, but the bot is $1,000 for a year, $2,500. But again, I would not use the bot. I I shouldn't say I wouldn't use it, but you have to understand. You if I would have known, like speaking of learning under fire, right? Oh, everything's gonna be fine. If I would have known it trends down, so I have been practicing with, hey, it trends down because it drops so many trades in less than a minute. It's crazy, right? So if it's trending down, a nice downtrend, and I think it's going to be a nice downtrend, I cut it on to get all those trades lined up that it does automatically. Then I shut it off at a certain, then I say, okay, let's see what happens. So, of course, I'm using it in demo mode like that to see what would happen. And sure enough, quickly, 1,000, 1,500 just by a mere few, what shall we say, pips, just a few, it goes down. So that is what is exciting about the bot. It does work, but again, you can lose as well. Because if the stock market's trending up, that's not good for the bot nor you. Just saying. All right. But there you go if you want to get it the $2,500 lifetime. But again, you need to study, ladies and gentlemen. And in the chat room, I did drop the Candlestick Bible in a PDF for you, everybody on replay. It'll be down in the chat room as well. And you know it's Friday night. The Seamless Genius is here. I know she's been working on something because that's what she does. She is an entrepreneur. So I know I want to hear if you started something new, especially during the holidays. I know you have something up your sleeve. Brian P's in the house. Mr. Dividend is here. He's doing the salsa dance because Yield Max ETF dividends distribution today, and they went to weekly for everybody. So everybody with Yield Max ETF should be doing the salsa. Now, we have to pay attention to the stock price now, ladies and gentlemen, right? So be very careful if you're new. And he brings his tagline. And again, welcome to the SSN Nation, Mr. Dividend, to the Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Happy day, Eric. I hope all is well with you and your family. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. Yes, everything is well. And smash that like button. I like to hear that. No matter where you're watching from, no matter where you're listening, you're going to have to smash the heart, the like, the check box, the hand. I don't really care what it is, but you got to show some love, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. Please let them know we're in the house. That's all we can ask, right? Okay. Let me get back to the business at hand. I forgot. Okay. That's just a preview because I am going to go over that Bible just so you guys understand. I'll be making some videos, but again, it's 160 pages. So there's a lot to learn. This is not for the faint at heart. Like I said, you can't just watch YouTube videos. You have to go in it. You got to do demos. And I'm trying to think. And investing.com that I was showing you guys, it's on your phone. I just track it. I see candles. I'm making predictions. I'm studying just to see what, if it comes up, what I should do. So that way, what I've learned, can I retain it? Can it work? So in my mind, I'm just visually tracking you start studying. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not hard. Just like anything else, to become good at something or great, you have to study. You have to do research. You can't just show up and be like, I'm good. We are making money in here. That's exactly the point. We got 1 year, 3 months, ladies and gentlemen, because at that point, it's going to be situation critical. That's what it's going to be. I don't want you in situation critical without a paddle. You're going to have a paddle, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have fire sticks. You're going to be able to make sure that you can eat no matter what's happening. All right? We are making money in here. That's right. Brian P. said it best. Truck or trade. Last but not least, keep a trading journal. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about. I was just talking about this on Wednesday. I said next week, I'm going to start writing down every trade I do, because you have to be honest with yourself on what you actually are winning, not your perception, because everybody believes they're doing better than what they actually are. So now I write it down to make sure I'm telling myself the truth. I can't sit here and say 60, 70, like I'm saying right now. I think I'm doing 60 to 70%. I haven't written anything down. Next week, I'm writing it down, and then I'll know if what I'm thinking is correct or not. It would be a pleasant surprise if it was better, but I got to be honest with myself. I don't think it's better than 60%, quite frankly, at this point. I'm not that good, but I want to get better. And that's one thing that I love, because I was just saying this on Wednesday night. Keep a trading journal. Write down every trade entry and exit and your emotions during the trade, and study your wins and losses. I love this. Love, 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 love. Exactly. We were talking about this on Wednesday. I was saying this exact thing. I said, I'm a geek at heart. I said, I'm writing down everything to keep track so I don't lie to myself. I told people, just like it's Friday night story night. I used to play professional poker, and you have to be honest with yourself when you're a professional, because you have to have money management concerns, just like in trading. Money management in business is key, critical. You can't go outside of your money management. If you have a bankroll of 10,000, there's no way you should be doing a $1,500, $2,000, because all that takes, you're shortening your win percentages. Because if you lose that 2,000, let's say, you can only do that 5 times. Whereas if you play at the stakes that you are comfortable with, where you can lose 20 times, so we'd be talking about $500. So now you got to play at a lower stake tables, right? 1, 2, 2, 4, something like that. But again, this is what we have to do. So you should write it down, ladies and gentlemen. It's very simple. All right, here we go. Oh my God, boss, I knew a little something about this. I'm glad to hear this, business. I figured. I know. But yes, that's exactly right. Your emotions have. Oh, and that's the other thing. When it comes to money, people get emotional, right? Once you understand it's business, money is not the. You shouldn't even be looking at it like money. You should just be. It's. You're doing a process. So regardless of what the number is, you doing the process based on your skills, based on what you've studied, based on what you know. So you shouldn't feel a certain way. I know people are gonna feel a certain way because it's money. You go, well, I don't want to lose $1,000 in 10 minutes or whatever, right? Or 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. Well, then you have to trade accordingly. You do money management accordingly. You put stop losses accordingly, right? So you put yourself within your parameters so you know from the get go, this is all I can lose. It's not an all or nothing thing. You put in place ways that you feel comfortable. And that's a natural thing. This is why I always love no limit, whether it's cash games or tournament games, because by shoving all in or making huge bets, a person says, well, do I want to exit the tournament or do I want to lose this amount of money? You're putting pressure. Now, the better players have no pressure. The chips don't matter because they're basing it on this is my read. This is what I believe the person has. So the money doesn't really matter. So when you see people play poker, for instance, you can see the WPT and World Series of Poker replays on TV. When you see people betting it seemingly, because you know the cards, right? We keep that in mind. But imagine somebody does the wrong read, but because they've played so long and they have a win percentage, they go, well, I believe I'm reading it. They're not going by the money. You'll see guys playing cash games and they could have $1 million on the table and you see somebody bet $200,000. And you're sitting there going, well, why would he do that? Well, if he feels that he's ahead, that's what he's going to do. He's not looking at it as $200,000. He's looking at it like, how can I maximize winning this hand right now? And if it's going to take 200 grand to put on the table and make the guy be under pressure, then that's what you're going to do. The money's not relevant. And so that's how I look at this myself. Post retirement travel says, I have a friend that does Forex and his only complaint is the time difference between Europe and USA. He has to trade very early, 2 to 3 a.m. East Coast time. That's correct. 3 a.m. That's correct. 12 midnight Pacific, 8 p.m. is when the market opens in London. But again, it's open already in the Euro Asia zones. So there's already something happening. But yes, that is the complaint because the thing is, the volume increases when there's an overlap. So that is very, very true. But again, a lot of people do wake up early. And that's part of this the scenario, a change of lifestyle. Or since you are your own boss, nobody says you have to wake up early. If you are good, you could actually uh, make the decision to go to work today at any time. What I mean is on the market side, if you're doing market, you could say, okay, I'll just get up at 12 noon, see what's happening, mark up the highs, the resistance levels, the high, the lows, and whatever other things you want to do. And you only enter into a trade that you feel is good, the setup and everything that you feel comfortable with. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit there until something comes up that looks favorable for you to make money, and then you put your money in. Nobody's pressuring you to do anything. Unlike poker and no limit, you're pressured. You got to make a move. Your move next. I just went all in. Are you going to go match all in? That's pressure. But in trading, I don't have to go in the game at all. Like right now, I'm not in the game. I'm like, let me study. I want to get better. I'm going to wait a minute. I'm going to do demos. I'm going to keep paying attention to charts, paying attention to every setups that I want to do and experiment too, because everybody's mind works differently. All right. But that's exactly right. We got people now, right? Pacific Coast, 10 a.m., early trade, 10 p.m., 12 midnight, 5 in the morning. I mean, there's all these triggers for Pacific time. And luckily, I'm in the Pacific time zone right now. Things change if I'm in the Eastern time zone. And so, Eastern time zone brings up this right here. Do I want to get up at 5 in the morning or 3 a.m. in the morning or anything like that? Or 4 in the morning? Because we have pre trading. Actually, we have 24 hours once Sunday night comes. But do you really have to? I don't know if you do. A lot of people say they get up at 8:39 Pacific. Or sorry, not 8 5, I mean 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Pacific. Same to mirror this one on the screen, 2 to 3. So they get up at 5 a.m. Pacific, I think it is, and something like that, 5 and 6. So for the markets to open in the US. So people do different things. So I heard from another trader today, you know what he does? He says on Monday, he actually sets up everything on Monday for the market. He's using gold in USD, XAU USD. He says, I set it up on Monday, mark up everything I'm going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. He says he does trading. He feels comfortable with this schedule from whatever he marked up on Monday. And that's pretty much what he does. And he's been doing 300, 500 a day. That's what he's good and happy with. So that's not bad. And because he studied, you won't believe this. He has a high clip rate of winning, 80 to 90%. That's what happened this week. In fact, I didn't want to say what he really said, but I'm going to tell you guys now. I used 80 to 90. He said 90. He's using Chat GPT. It's unbelievable what he was saying. He's like getting alerts. I was just like, is this what? I was like, this is news to me. I was like, holy smokes. Yeah, he's done figured out his thing, right? He's a geek. So he's been doing great. That's how I am. All right. Do you know you can trade with one account using 4 attached accounts to make 5x your profit? I've heard about this. You talking about copy trading? I think that's what somebody was talking to me about just yesterday and today. They go, you can actually have different multiple accounts, and whatever trade you do on one account, you can do on another. And they also started telling me about these funded accounts as well, where you can pay like now that I know about it, it started popping up on my phone. And like all these funded trading places, but they have rules. They say, well, you can only buy weekly or weekly withdrawals if you have your prop. It's crazy. Shared like 50-50, 90-10. There's several things that have popped up on my advertisements now for these funded things. And I'm just like, I didn't realize this was a thing. Almost like being sponsored in the poker world. Well, it's not almost, you are being sponsored because you're trading on a live account. And if you make money, either you share a portion of that with the funded account company, or if you lose, like it seems like 3 or 4%, you can't lose more than 3 or 4%, which makes sense, right? If you have a $50,000 funded account and you go down to 47, you've blown your account. or 48, depending on what the company is, right? So you have a small room for error. So money management is key, but you should set up your stop loss to make sure your stop loss can only be X amount, $200 or 400 or $500. So you can only lose 4 times if you do it that way. But if you're 60 or 70%, odds are you won't lose 4 times or five. But I'm just saying, there's a mathematical equation for me in my head. But the point is, I started learning about these funded trading accounts. It's insane. So now that's another thing. But I was like, hold on, I'm not good enough yet. I'll deal with that later. I'll deal with once I feel comfortable, once I get in the groove, then I'll go for using other people's money too. But not right now. I'm not that good. So have to admit, all right? Have to admit who you are when it comes to money, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't understand something, then just study to find out. Just like the option income wheel strategy that post retirement travel does. I haven't ran across anybody that does that. I'm sure there's some videos on YouTube that somebody would show. But right now, I'm going to deal with this because I got to learn this. And it's taking a minute, but hey, I have a little time. So each day I'm studying, and that's what it takes from different sources too, because there's a lot of people on YouTube that talk about trading and they show markups, settings, and all this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize a ton of people out here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Because the stock market all time record highs, are you going to be able to take advantage of it? By the way, did you guys see that? What did I have on the? Did I have the Dow? Was that the Dow I had? What was that? What was that? That was S&P 500. Okay, so if anybody, I'm sure people that are traders, right? That was people that were traders, that are traders. You guys can see that, right? This is a class. This was a good day. If it was a day, I don't know, but if it was today, this was a good day because of the trend. Trending down, people could have made money. Trending up on the right side, people were making money. That's crazy. That's the kind of stuff you love. So it was a good day for the stock market members. This is something anybody can do, but you're going to have to study. You can't just wake up and magically be able to do this. All right. So they don't teach you this in school. Don't even teach this. I mean, there might be a course in college, but when you're doing business management, they're not teaching you that. They're just trying to make you like an employee. You'll be a manager or you'll be in some field. And sure, that's all good, but they're not teaching you this fish for yourself routines, right? So once again, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy out here. All right, let's get down to something else because you guys know on every live stream we have to talk about this findhelp.org. If you need help out here, a lot of people do. 80% of the population does. Findhelp.org is where you have free services. So go get the help. What happened? Oh, okay. And I'm going to put it in the chat room. Put in your zip code. All right. Courtesy of Matthew Lesko. Here, we'll do it this way. All right. Can't leave anybody high and dry, but here you go. And if you have anyone with mental health conditions, there's 211 on your phone or 211.org. There's people that will answer the phone. Just when you go to 211.org, call that number. People answered. I couldn't believe it. And they would get help for people. In the middle of the night, when Matthew Lesko was on, we did it like right now. It could have been 9 or 10 at night. And I called up because he said, yeah, you can call right now. I said, okay, let's go check. And it was live. Somebody did answer. They said, hey, do you need some help? And at first, the usual on 211, they were like, is everything okay? You trying to harm yourself and whatever. But the fact is, they started going down everything. They started going down. It's awesome. MDA0214, welcome to the SSN Nation. Another investor is here to the Financial Friday Night live stream. And he says, yes, you can duplicate trades, but it's not needed. All you have to do is build a cushion and increase your size. Very good said. Very well said. That's another thing, too. Go from micro, well, they're kind of micro, and move up. And I was experimenting with that earlier today. But you start moving up. That also means if you choose wrong, then you have a other side increase on the other side. But nonetheless, that is very, very true. Very, very true. You can trade anytime with Forex. The market opens 6 p.m. Yeah, exactly. Sunday and close at 4 p.m. Friday. Right. Yep, that's what I was saying. You have to do it's I almost was like 7 days a week, but not quite because Friday and then Sunday evening, you'll be back at it. So basically a day and a half. But you don't really need nobody needs to be doing this 7 days a week. I'm just saying. Especially once you are good. I don't see any reason you would do that. But hey, there are people that do it every day that they can. And I'm not mad at you. It's whatever you want to do. It's your life. But thank you for that because those are the times, ladies and gentlemen, that you could be in the markets around the world. Just think about that. So nobody can stop you. So this is a good skill set that you should be teaching your children. You should be learning yourself, family members, anybody that wants to try to make extra money and learn. And that's why I have that Bible, the Candlestick Bible to start with. Then you can just start studying, but then at least you'll understand what you're seeing on a screen when somebody's showing you some things. That helps. Terminology helps as well. Just like anything, right? Terminology. All right. Now, findhelp.org. It's in the chat room. I've already put it once. We've done it twice. All right. So go and check it out. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. They have companies that let you use their money to trade. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about. Those funded accounts is very interesting. Prop firms, but it's just a selling point to make you pay for more accounts. And most can't pass the challenge. Just have it. Just leave a cushion in there and trade with more size, more accounts, not needed. Yeah. Um, Interesting. I mean, I could see again. I could see where it would be beneficial for some. Okay, so here's what somebody told me. Um, who's helping me, and that's Darcy does this trading, and I'm studying with her, and so they use this, and they get these funded accounts. So it's going to be Black Friday. And it already started because I'm having all these funded account places send me stuff and they're talking, get a whatever, $50,000 account, pay, I don't know, $60. But like you said, sometimes you have this evaluation pass a challenge. Sometimes they're going, well, not now. So they have all these specials. I didn't realize there were so many of these doggone things. There's these things that's coming up because we were talking about, and the phone hears you. And all of a sudden I'm like, who is this? There's like everyone. I mean, 40%, 80%, 90% off. And then they have rules. First, you got to do a challenge. Some say you don't. Then you got to say, well, give us 10% of whatever you I won or whatever. Somebody else says, well, you can only withdraw weekly. And some of them say, well, you can only withdraw 50% until you do something. I mean, they got all these rules, which is fine as long as you know what the rules are. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, those the funded trading accounts, prop trading, it's a thing. And I guess it could help somebody because it's Black Friday. They're talking about these funded account possibilities is $20, but it's a month though, by the way. $25. Like I said, they're already started. I can't remember the lowest one I've seen so far. I think it was like $20, but it was for like a funded account of like 10 or 15,000, something like that. So nonetheless, though, it's not, it's you still are going to be on a short leash on how much you could lose. Because once you lose a certain amount, then you've blown it. That's blown the account. You can't. You're stopped. That's on the real one, not the demo. But all I'm saying is, you're not on a leash where you can go, well, I have this account, 50,000 in real monies, and then they're going to let you lose five. It's going to be like 2 grand, 3 grand max. So if you have some fluctuation and you don't put a stop loss and there's a fluctuation that goes down there to that number, then you've blown your account and you got to give them some more money in order to come back in. And I think you have to do the challenge again and everything. So nonetheless, it seems interesting, especially if you're talking about 20, $30 maybe, right? I could see where that would be interesting. So we'll see. You have to pass the challenges. I will email you also. I got an 8% week company right now. I'm working with crazy times. 8%. I don't know what that means. 8% a week. What do you, I don't know what that means. Are you saying they take, if whatever amount that you have over, let's say it's 50,000 funded account, and if you get it up to 5 grand, are you saying they keep 8% and you keep 92% and you can take it out in a week? Is that what you're saying? 7 days? Because I've seen all kind of stuff, which I was like, oh man, this is wild. This is almost like gambling. When these guys make their prop bets and gambling deals, this is what it seems like. Yeah, it's crazy. Check out your emails. Oh, Brian P, man, you're gonna give me an upset stomach. Correct. It's pretty tough to pass these challenges. Yep, that's exactly right. Stop loss is not good. You should never rely on it. I do use it for crazy spikes, but I don't rely on it. I set it way out. You will learn it'll stop you out, then go where you thought. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. There's spikes. I call it clearing, It's like there's people that's clearing the field. So it's on purpose. That's the way I look at it. I don't know. In my brain, it's like it's on purpose because I'll use a simple, like 4,100's the number, right? Let's say that's the stock price or what the market is trading at, 4,100. So what'll happen is all of a sudden there'll be like a sweep, a spike up where like one or two, I'll just say one person because I don't know what it is, but let's just say one person, 4,105, right? So it spikes up, it hits people's stops, then drops back down to 4,100, clearing the field. So that's a thing. So MDA 0214 is exactly right. Because I was checking this out today because I don't really use stop losses right now because I'm in demo modes. And I've never actually really used them before because I was doing the Autobot. So I was like looking and I was like, I'll be damned, there's spikes. Whether it's on the buy side or the sell side, meaning the positive side or the negative side, there's spikes. So that takes out anybody that's in a stop, and the stop will be triggered and it'll be brief. And so now any other real movement you could potentially lose out on. And you sold at that spike price or somewhere in between. So I can understand that because there's that. I've been hearing from a few people. Some say yes, stop loss. Others are saying no, no stop loss. So it's very, very interesting. Again, with anything, there's always different thought processes on why you would do something versus not. But thank you, MDA 0214. That's exactly right. I'm currently am working with a trading company that pays me 8% a week on my money. It's amazing. Okay, hold on. Hold on now. We don't like, are you saying eight? What do you mean pays you 8% a week on my money? Oh, you're saying you have put your money in to one of these trading companies and you're getting 32% a month? Is that what you're saying? Please clarify, because I like that. I love that. That is awesome. So they are taking investment type monies. That would be awesome if that's really the case. I was thinking that you actually were doing trading and then whatever the profit that you had to give them 8%. You're saying they're giving you 8% per week. Wow, that is awesome. That is great. That is real great, actually. Sheesh. You've been holding out. See, Seamless Genius always has something awesome to talk about. That is sweet. Oh, my. That is beautiful. All right. Post retirement travel says hello at businesses. That Forex, very nice, 8% a week. What percent do they keep? How much they charge you? Yeah, I was thinking along these lines as well at first, but it seems like she's the one that put money up and she's getting the 8% per week. But we'll find out which way is it. I want to hear myself. Hell, you can't just drop this 8% per week on us and not give us some context. My. That's crazy. You should never blow your account that fast. If one trade will blow your account, you're using way too much size. Yeah, no, one should not because you have to do money management, right? That's why they were saying put in their stop loss, so then that way they wouldn't blow this funded account. That's what they're talking about. And I said, well, I understand that. That makes sense because there are spikes, and again, that triggers the stop loss. Again, you're in a catch-22. Right? That's called stop loss hunting or liquidity. There you go. That's it. That's what they called it too. That's what they called it too. Clearing liquidity, or they had some term for it. I can't. Liquidity clearing or something like that is what they said. That's what they said. Liquidity clearing. I'm just like, what the heck? So some more terminology, right? I'm like, oh, come on. Are you kidding me right now? All right, here we go. Post retirement travel. This company I'm talking about are experts in the field of real estate, forex, and foreign exchanges using modern methods. Okay, all right, let's go. They charge zero. They make money off your money, and they pay you 8% a week. You can take your money out weekly. Okay, all right. So it's a typical you put money in, they are whatever they're doing with it, they're loaning it or having other people make them some money, and they give you 8% per week. So let me get this straight. Are you going to give us some info? I mean, what's the minimum you can put in? And let's keep it simple. 10,000, let's say. 8%, 800 a week. Wait, that's incredible. That would be 32. Is my numbers right? Um, yeah, that my numbers are right. I'm pretty sure. I was gonna put they are right. That'd be 32. That'd be 3,200 a month on 10,000. That would be win. That's crazy. That's awesome. I mean, now are these guys like hide out or what? Just set it way out and manage to trade yourself. Trust your analysis. I agree with you, MDA0214. That's why I say study, practice, pay attention to what you're doing because that's my thought process. Again, due to playing poker. Once I have a read, I'm going to go with the analysis. I'm not going to go with anything else but that. So that's why I would feel comfortable. Now, the other side to this is obviously you control the trade. You can always X out, right? You can always close it. I don't know about the set it and forget it type of stuff. That shouldn't be an option. So I agree 100. I appreciate that message there. That's pretty cool. That's how it should be done. I mean, there's different philosophies from different people. You do nothing, they do the work for you. Guys, I've been in it for 4 weeks now. Okay. Now, again, the seamless genius, is this going to be something you can't talk about? I mean, or is this going to be something you can? They're using too much size. It's the only way to blow a funded trading account. Yeah. Well, here's what happened. I'll tell you what's happened. Um, so, like, there's this one example: $50,000 account. You can only go to 48. So then I said, why you have your stop loss on 500? So they didn't blow the account. It's just that, not this particular time. It's just that if you lose three in a row, four in a row, that blew the account because they had this. And so then I was like, well, why have the stop loss at five? But then it's like, as we know, those spikes, those ups, those downs, you know, $200 could swing real fast. So, and they're using futures actually. So that's a little different too, futures. So they have lots. But nonetheless, that's how they're blowing. It's not like one time. They're just like they have a stop loss and then it's, I guess it's hitting. It's challenges or something. So I don't know. But I'm not watching the whole trade thing. So I don't know. They're just saying they blew the accounts. And then they just go buy another account or something. I'm like, this is crazy. This is cool. Drop me a link. I'll explain. It's amazing. Well, I like 32%, which actually comes out to more than that because there's more than 4 weeks. There's 52 weeks instead of 48. So that's 3,200 a month is pretty good on 10 G's. All right. Well, now what you need to tell us so we can get the SSN Nation prepared. What is the minimum amount that you have to put in and more? Well, once you tell us the minimum, if you know, what's the minimum? Because 5%, 8% is pretty good on any amount. Why give them money when you can trade yourself and get paid daily? Uh yeah, but actually I guess it's a leverage scenario. I like leverage because if I was good, I would do the leverage too. If somebody said, "Okay, Eric, you can give us $40, you pass a challenge, you get a live account, and you get to keep, let's just say, they're like this one that I saw, right? 90%, right? And you can withdraw daily, or some of them I saw bi-weekly or whatever, weekly. But anyhow, I would only deal with withdraw now, right? But the point is, if if you can spend like $40 and whatever you get, if you off the trading account you get, I don't know, 3, 4 grand, whatever. You built it up to that in one day or 2 days, whatever it is, and you say, okay, I want to withdraw, and they say, okay, well, we get 10%. That seems fair. You didn't have to put up the money other than the $40. So for me, it's like a leverage. So that's the way I look at it. So, but the other side is you could always do it yourself, right? If you are that good, you could do it yourself too. But then again, it's very interesting because some people may have pressure issues. Since it's their money, they may have pressure. There's lots of psychological things going on when it comes to money, right? People do things, act weird over money. So it's not inconceivable for somebody to say, well, they feel pressure if they lose money, right? It's only, so you feel a little bit more comfortable paying 40, $50 and going through all the challenges and sharing some of the profits. I mean, I could see that scenario. In fact, if once I get good, I'm going to try it. If we're talking about 40, 50, the Black Friday's coming up and they start talking about like $20 accounts is what happened last year. And I'm just like, what? They're like, yeah, I'm going to get like 20 accounts. I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I guess I'll have to find out what this is about, but not right now. Not right now. Yes, sir. You make your original investment back in 3 months. They are based in London. Wow. Okay. Well, you know my email address, support@stopstrugglingnow.com. So please send it over to me. Oh, man. Former Maryland sheriff's deputy pleads guilty to using law enforcement databases for personal searches. Yikes. Uh-oh. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen who have cholesterol, atorvastatin, atorvastatin recall affects over 140,000 cholesterol medication bottles. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I keep telling you, the United States is not what you think. They are not protecting you from any damn thing. This is why your health is your wealth. This is what we talked about on Wednesday. You got to try to get out of the healthcare system if you can. There's lots of natural foods and products that you can take so you can avoid. It's a generic form of Lipitor. Oh my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Several bottles of atorvastatin. I'm hoping that's our prescription only 10 milligrams. A medicine used to lower cholesterol, help prevent heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes are impacted by the recall. Are you kidding me right now? Okay, so what's the recall? Ben's original rice products recalled nationwide. Jesus. Okay. A pharmacist pulls a Provo, Utah. Spanish recalled after batch test positive for potentially harmful bacteria. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. Sheesh, can't trust the food supply, the drug supply. This is bad, ladies and gentlemen. Another reason why you need to make extra funds, because you're going to have to be particular about what food you buy. Pretty much, you're going to have stuff on recall right now. Chat GPT, can you always alert me and send me the text or something if there's any new food or medicine, pharmaceutical recalls? Throw in cars too. I mean, geez. Um, okay. So while we're celebrating the stock market at all-time record highs, and we're talking about 1 year, 3 months is what you have to get your credit in order at 775. I'll put a link in the chat room where you can get a smart credit monitoring system. I'll also put in the chat room something for you for debt resolution, to get your debt resolved without filing bankruptcy or debt collectors to ruin your credit, or so to speak, get your credit scored lower. And let me put this in the chat room right away, because I should have started off this live stream like that. After we have find help, and we need you need to email Tracy, TRACY. That's why you have pen, pads, and papers ready. .sharpe, SHARPE at moneyladder.com. All right. That's what we do, ladies and gentlemen. Do it that way. All right. Post retirement travel. Yes. 8% of 10K is 800. But what happens if the balance goes to 5K due to a bad trade? Then your 8% is 400, right? Yep. Your 8% is based on your balance at that time. Okay. So as that turns out, I'm not doing this in real time, ladies and gentlemen. That message was probably sent out before. But as it turns out, she's making a one-time investment, it appears, and she's getting an 8% return per week right now. That's insane. That's pretty cool. It's not this that is shown on the screen right now. So that's pretty cool. I will email you the info, boss. No minimum or maximums. Oh, wow. Really? Excellent. I have a funded account as well, but I get paid weekly when I use it. And I don't get 8%, I get 90%. There you go. Yeah, it's a different thing that Business Seamless Genius is talking about. She's talking about an actual investment. She's not even talking about the trading. She's just giving a one of these funded account prop firms money, and they're giving her 8%. So that's how much money these guys are making, because I know people are blowing, they're learning by trying to pass the challenge. Then a month goes by, and then they're paying that like that $40 is actually per month if you have not completed the challenge to get into. And then people blow the accounts. Then they just buy another account, or 10 or 20 of them, whatever. So they're making money without even risk at all, just by offering something. So I could see 8% is pretty damn good though. Yeah, MDA 0214. I got something from somebody that did a 90/10. I'm getting so many of these traded funded trading accounts. I didn't realize this was even a thing. And ever since I started talking about it, it just comes up on the ads on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. It's just crazy. But that's cool, man. Oh, yeah, the weekly thing, right? So I said, hey, where's that funded account that you can withdraw immediately? That's the one I want to hear about. Forget this weekly thing. I want to, if you get a whatever, $1,000 today, and you want to withdraw something, then why shouldn't you be able to? But apparently that's rare that they're doing it daily. They do it weekly, bi-weekly. Um, the one, I don't remember the name of it, but this one was 50%. You can withdraw now, but you can only do 50% of your profit over the 50. Like in this case, it was 50K. There's 50, I'm sorry, no, it wasn't 50K, 100K. But it doesn't really matter that number. There was like 6,000 profit, but can only withdraw 3,000 maximum. So they had a 50% withdrawal right now. I don't know how you move into another category, but there was a way you can move into another category. I don't know which firm this was, but I swear there's so many things going on. This is not a prop firm. This is totally different, guys. Exactly. Exactly. This looks like more of an investment. And they could be a prop firm, but it's an investment. So you're getting 8% of your investment is pretty sweet. And the money amount doesn't matter. Holy smokes. Okay. Well, then just tell me one last thing. That makes sense. Tell me, how are they paying you then? That's all I want to know. Is it by crypto, a wire? What? That's what I pay. No, it can't be PayPal. Can't be. Well, actually, if it's in, yeah, it could be in Britain. It could be Cash App. It could be PayPal, but Bitcoin, or I mean, or crypto could be anytime. So, okay. Well, I look forward to the information. We might have some new news, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would not mind 8% per week to go sit at home. That would be awesome. Another opportunity. She says she's been doing it for 4 weeks. So it's relatively new. At 8% per week, adds up pretty fast. You get your money back in 3.5 months. I think that's about what it is. 32%. That's 96. So yeah, about 3.5 months. There you go. I love it. I love it. All right. Hopefully reputable, no new guys, because over the years we've been dealing with some people that they were good for a minute, and then all of a sudden, hasta la vista. All right. So again, for everybody that needs that debt resolution, you hear the companies and they say, "Hey, we need to restructure our debt. I need you at 770 775 credit scores by December 31st, 2026. You got 1 year, 3 months to do it. So get started. And I got the smart credit monitoring for you that you have a special deal. So we can help you with that. So I don't know if I put that in here. Let me check. No, I haven't done that yet. I haven't put that in the chat room. But go check out the latest deal. They might have the $1 for 4 or 5 months, so you can go check it out yourself. That would help you out, right? Here's the link in the chat room. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Yep. Eric, can you send me the info when you get it? Yes, I will. But I think she has your info. But if not, no big deal. I'll still send it to you. Business, yes, boss. It's Bitcoin, crypto. They've been around since 2017. Okay, I like it. I'm going to email you, boss. I had to check it out first to make sure it's good. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, hey, we're going to check it out too, obviously, right? Once I find out what it is, we'll see the track. We can go check them out, which is pretty awesome. I mean, this is a whole nother world out here. Because they could be doing the prop farm thing and some other things. Who knows what they could be doing? But that means that's how you're getting the payout then. Bitcoin, crypto, cool, cool. I like that. I like that because with CoinEx, which is a broker, I like it because they do crypto as well. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin, but they had the um, U USDC tether, so your fees are minimum. Didn't have to use BTC or ETH. So I was like, oh, okay, that works at CoinEx, right? So that's pretty cool. But all right, this sounds like a winner. We're all interested in 8% a week. That's out there. That's out there. Hey Eric, check out the news. Yes, man. Hey, 159-year-old whiskey brand facing Chapter 11 bankruptcy under court-ordered receivership. Very few brands trace their history back to 1850s, and almost no brands exist that were literally created to right a historical wrong. What is? Oh no, not Uncle Nearest. No, Uncle Nearest, the founder of Jack. However, traces root back to the founding of Jack Daniels. It's not the prettiest of stories. Few were back in the age of slavery, but it's a story with an inspiring ending. Nathan Green, that's right. Jasper Newton is Jack Daniels, but Nearest Nathan Green was the master distiller, the slave, the black guys, and is credited with teaching a young Jasper Newton, Jack Daniel, how to distill whiskey. That is very true. Nearest became Jack Daniel's first head stiller after emancipation, master distiller. Okay. Uncle Nearest was later created, launched in 2017 in honor of Nearest Green. How the hell did this happen? The brand emphasized reclaiming and telling that history. For example, the founder, Fawn Weaver, researched and documented Nearest Green's story and descendants. In 2020, Uncle Nearest and Jack Daniels, owned by Brown Forman Corporation, collaborated on an innovative initiative to promote diversity in the whiskey spirits industry. So what the heck's going on? How they're not related? I mean, what I mean is they're not financially related. Uncle Nearest state as part of its efforts to stabilize the Shelbyville Whiskey Company under court-appointed receivership. Come on, man. Are you serious right now? How you do this? Come on. Wow. The lender has agreed to offer 2.5 million in short-term funding to cover overdue bills. I believe this company has the company laid off 12 employees. I think these guys have hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, I don't understand. While cash flow was a major challenge, the first week shipments are resuming. Okay, that's good. The brand is accused of defaulting on more than 108 million in loans and lines of credit. Are we kidding right now? Wow. Oh man, failure to maintain required financial covenants, providing required reports, and allegedly overstating barrel value by 24 million. What the heck is going on? Wow, that's bad. That's sad. Come on, man. Come on. You have built-in heritage. Tie yourself in, part of the Jack Daniels legacy, larger than life, and you mess up. That's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of money going around. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the things that's going to cause a demise. The American empire. Here we go. In fact, I'm going to put this in the chat room because I don't want anybody to be like misconstruing anything. Here it is. BRICS to convert US dollar loans into Chinese yuan. There's only one company that has enough GDP that they can do this, and it's China. And China is part of BRICS, ladies and gentlemen. This is bad. Well, oh my goodness. And by the way, this de-dollarization, Chinese yuan lending grows 480 billion. Wow. Wow. BRICS member Ethiopia is in talks with China to convert its 5.38 billion worth of loans from the US dollar into the Chinese yuan. Ethiopia owes China 5.38 billion and plans to settle the payments in yuan denominated loans. The move would bolster the local currency, giving it more strength in the forex markets. Oh, this is not good. China said, you want to have a war? Well, bring it. Quite frankly, unfortunately, they may be the next. I got you, Victor. Your family. Exactly. This is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. A big time problem. Wow. Over 140,000 bottles of popular cholesterol drug recalled. Exactly. DIM pals and other investors in the house. He was doing this today, I'm sure. He's also doing the salsa dance. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his investor tagline, good evening. And he smashed that like button. He gave it a one piece. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciated. And man, it's been crazy. Tamara Larry is in the house. Another investor is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And hopefully you and your family's doing well. And she says her tagline, hey, y'all. Oh, hey. Nice to see you once again on this Friday evening. All right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting out of hand. BRICS. Oh, nations are getting out of the US dollar now. You guys, this is one of the things like this inflationary stuff that the United States is totally ignoring. We only control 54% of currency in the world is the US dollar. When these company or countries, not companies, countries start divesting themselves of the US dollar. Now, don't get that excited, but the BRICS nations is less than 5% of all currency, and the yuan is what, 2 point something percent. It's not like it's major in that way. But when you start taking out billions of dollars and changing it into a yuan, out of the US dollar, that means we start subtracting. And now it could be 53%. And as the yuan starts building up, they don't only go from 2 or 2.2% or 1.2, whatever their number is, it's low. But all of a sudden, they start adding a percentage point, 2 percentage points, 3 percentage points. Next thing you know, they have 10%, 15, 20. Meanwhile, the US is dropping. And again, I'm warning you guys, the BRICS countries have more than half of the world's population under their control. So they host the manufacturing facilities because the EU, United States, we are a country that brings products in. We don't have the manufacturing. They are the ones with the cheap labor. So they are winning on all fronts. So this movement that's happening, slow but sure, one day United States could wake up and be like, nobody's using our currency. The value of our currency falls. And now we have $40 trillion in debt. We have inflationary policies to print more money, which now decreases the value of your currency. Meanwhile, this other currency is now stable, and people are like, well, we ain't messing with that currency that's third world country currency. It's not even backed by anything. We'll go with the yuan, which, if I had to guess, is going to be the next freaking. And that's going to put the United States at a huge disadvantage because they're friends with the bad guys. Just saying. So all the stuff the United States has been trying to do to the countries around the world, they will now be able to do to the United States. Embargoes, not allowing the money to be used to buy outside of the U.S. I mean, that this is getting scary. May not be scary right now for a few years, but it's getting there, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you, Biz Nessa. Seamless genius. I appreciate it. I see your link. Just in case, I think you have post retirement travels email. But if not, I'm gonna forward this. Let me see if I have wait, what's happening here? Okay, here we go. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Yep, I have it. I'm forwarding, I think. Hopefully you still have the same one. Post retirement travel. Okay. Beautiful. And she has a link. That looks like referral to me. Let's see. What's it look like? Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, oh, she's showing me something. Okay. Oh, they give you a dashboard and everything? Interesting. Okay. Um the link didn't the link didn't work. Hold on a second. Maybe. No, link didn't work. The link didn't work. But I've seen that name before. But the link did not work. That's interesting for me. Let's see. Okay, I got something. Okay, interesting. Okay, that says 596 million assets under management. Okay, I've seen that name somewhere. Don't know where, but this is not all. Yep, looks like it says England. All right. Well, we have something new to talk about then. All right. Thank you very much, Seamless Genius. Appreciate it. All right. We got something else to look at. Yes, I sent you my actual dashboard. Thank you so much. Just got it. Thank you, Vanessa. All right. Cool. Excellent. Open it up. See how much I've invested? Yes, I see it. I already was looking at it. Hey, it works. It's working right now. That's awesome. I like it. I like it. I like it. So let me get this on my screen. I want to see a bigger picture. Hold on. Let me see. That's something else. Okay. I'll have to look at this later. I need to, yeah, I need to open it in a tab. I want to see a bigger picture. Okay. That's cool. It's all good. Okay. I'm not going to be on here too much longer, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to get in the stock market record highs. You guys have been missing out. Now, the funny part is we've been talking about this for over a year, right? We've been saying this is what's going to continue to happen because we already knew the numbers. We knew last year that Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, just those companies right there over the next 3 years, starting last year, that they were going to invest something like $10 billion in buying back their own shares of stock. Now, over that time, there's other corporations that are also buying back their shares, but just those guys move the market. Facebook is doing it, Meta. They're also buying back their shares of stock. So the guys, Tesla, all these guys, they're buying back their shares of stock. And they have a heavy weight on like the S&P 500, the Dow, NASDAQ. So therefore, these corporations, since they have a heavy weight, they're lifting up more than 50% of the markets, just those few companies. So just by them keep rolling, that means the stock indexes keep rolling up. So it's going to continue. And the Federal Reserve is poised to reduce their interest rate. So now some of these corporations in America is going to be borrowing in the lower interest rate. Not you, but corporations. So they have a huge advantage if they can borrow it for 3.75%. That's a huge advantage in an inflationary environment. So they get to make money in today's or tomorrow's money, which is a higher price, but yet their interest rate for their debt is reduced. So that's a win for them, not so much a win for the individuals because your savings accounts will be lower, by the way. Just saying. All right. So there you go. You're going to have to put your money into the game, ladies and gentlemen, the stock market game. Time is running out. Investments are going to matter. And there's hardly any room for error because you don't know what the time is. You don't know if it's 1 year, 3 months, 1 year, 7, 2 years from now. But either way, something's going to happen in the next 2 years because we have adversaries that have planned on how to get rid of the US dollar to control them. So companies or countries are doing it. Just like Ethiopia, they're saying, let me get rid of this $5.38 billion worth of debt to the US and the US dollar. I'd rather have a yuan because their currency is garbage. Referring to the US, we've lost 10% already of our currency value, right? Let's go see what it looks like right now. It's going to drop. It's going to drop. Oh, what is that? I can't. Thought it was a DXY. Um, yeah, it is. Let's see. Go on the trading view. But this is what is worrisome. We have government officials, the mediocre dudes that merit based trust fund kids who don't know really anything. They're sitting here messing around. The, the oil is going down. Just remember the US dollar is backed by oil. If oil goes down, the US dollar also has a problem. There's a correlation. All right, this isn't looking that bad. This looks like, what is that, 90? Oh, it's at 98. Hold on. Year to date, the dollar is down 8.83%. Okay. So that's inflation that you can't see. You're down 9%, but they're going to tell us the CPI report, Consumer Price Index, is only 3%. So in essence, 8.8 plus 3 is already 11. That's 11.8. So we're at 12%, ladies and gentlemen. And we're not even counting groceries and rents. So clearly it's more than 12% increase. Who got a raise for 12%? Raise your hand. I want to know. Nobody is getting a raise at 12% at the end of this year. Not going to happen. And by the end of this year, we're going to need you to have a 15 to 20% raise. Because the real deal is we're at 20%. They're just hiding it. I wish shadowstats.com was still available. I'm pretty sure government officials probably tried to shut that down because then it would show the real one, not this newfangled stuff they created in the early 1980s to change it. So the real numbers haven't been real for the last 40 plus years. Interesting, right, America? Lie to yourself, just like we don't really have $38 trillion in a deficit. It's more. Remember what we talk about here? When you have derivatives, just because I can buy a house for, I'll keep it simple, $1 million, that $1 million is a loan, but on paper, it's $1 million. It's more than a million because we have interest to pay. So let's just say over a 30-year period, it's actually 2 million. But here nor there, it's still a derivative. I now, since I have the paper and people are giving me their $5,000 a month or $4,000 a month, whatever, I don't want to wait 30 years. So I have a piece of paper that says it's $1 million worth plus the interest, almost $2 million over 30 years, but I don't want to wait 30. So I go around, package them things up, and I get 10 of them. So I have $10 million, 10 homes. And I go around the world and say, hey, these are AAA rated. Who will give me 5 million? Because you're going to make 2 million in 30 years. Somebody says, here's 5 million. Well, see, that 5 million isn't on the books, right? A lot of stuff is not on the books. That million is not on the books. People say I sold the paper for 5 million, but in reality, all 10 homes is a liability. So if somebody, the people that bought it, they default later, that's going to affect the people that the default happened. This is what happened in the Great Recession. It affects everybody because the people aren't getting their money. Their investors are not getting their money. See how this works. Banks don't have their money. So all of a sudden, I can't pay you because I can't pay the loan that I got from you because I had this asset. Assets under management, margin calls, using stock for security against other property or loans, but then the stock price drops. See, all those derivatives are not just 40 trillion. It's way more than 40 trillion. Why don't we talk quadrillion? Now do you understand why you better get something that the big boys have and get banks outside the US, have a bank account, have a business, have something outside the United States. You're going to need it. All right? Just saying. Make it simple on yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure your passport's up to date. Don't fall within 6 months of renewal. If you got to go somewhere, you got to go somewhere, right? So make sure you pay attention to when your passport expires. Get it renewed. All right? That's it. I don't have much more to say, ladies and gentlemen. Investments matter. Thank you so much for being here on this Friday night. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I'll see you guys on Monday night. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. We have memberships now. We have a new system since we're monetized now. I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to put in like 20 advertisements on videos. It's unbelievable. I have to go in and try to move and remove these ad spots. I'm just like, what is this every 3-4 minute? They're trying to put ads in every 3-4 minutes, which is crazy. I'm just like, man, these guys are getting desperate out here. But that's just the way it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I've made more money back already. All right. I'm glad to hear it. One of my clients invested $20K. He's making $6,400 a month. That's incredible. That is incredible. I mean, that's awesome, quite frankly. That is incredible. This is great news. Yeah, I couldn't see how much you really invested though. I see numbers, but I didn't want to just blurt them out. Um, I can see your withdrawals. I can see an account balance. I can see total deposits, and I can see accumulated interest. So I can see those four metrics, but I don't know. I mean, I know total withdrawals I can see, total deposits I can see, but I don't understand. So I'll try and wrap my head around it because 8% of I don't know where the 8% comes off of though. That's the only thing. I mean, does the 8% come off of the account balance? I'm assuming that's where it is, right? But we'll figure it all out later. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I put everything down in the chat room. Everybody who watches this on podcast or on any of the platforms, there's always a description area. I'll have links down below for everything we talked about and then some. And again, don't forget, learning a skill that allows you to make money, such as this trading, or if you can get a nice return, 8% a week is up there, ladies and gentlemen. That's up there. That's scary. I gotta admit, that's scary to me. Okay. All right. I've invested 1849. I make 8% weekly on that money. Okay. But I won't get into what the screen shows some numbers, but I don't know how to correlate it. 1849 times 8%. Oops, wait, what is that? Oh, wait, hold on. Oops, sorry. No, get out of here. 1849 times 8%. 147.92 per week times, we'll go 4 months. And that is $591. That is pretty good per month for a $1,850 investment. Okay, so we're talking 3 months. 18. 3.5 months. Yeah, still 3.5 months at this rate. So I guess we can we monthly it's $591 a month. This month I have an extra week. There we go. Exactly. I already pulled out more money because I'm an affiliate. Ah, okay. So that's why you had your name on there. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. We're going to have to look into it, obviously. I like the 8% per week. It sounds like a winner. Sounds pretty cool. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Something to rest your laurels on. And hopefully I dropped enough in the chat room and down below that you guys are going to be fine. I don't want anybody out here sweating. Again, that's why we go findhelp.org. So there's grants, there's other things that you can help. You'll see a myriad of, put in your zip code on findhelp.org, and you'll see all the services from the state and federal agencies that'll help you. You just make a phone call. Some are free, some cost, but it can range. Job training is, I couldn't believe that was there. Um, Medical help, down payment help, rental help, your car breaks down help. I mean, all kind of things for American citizens. It's unbelievable. So, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I made almost 3K already. That's awesome. I made almost. Okay, let's see what else we got. I'm going to put 15K in. I had to test it first, but I understand. As you should. You should test it because, again, we've all been down these paths before where things have looked good. And then come to find out it was not a sustainable operation. But, we'll see what these guys, I've seen that name before, which is weird. But nonetheless, that's pretty cool if everything is at 500, $500 million under management is pretty cool. So whatever they're doing, that is awesome to give that percentage out. That's 32% a month if you know, try to go monthly, it seems, but that's hefty. I mean, that's 300, what is that? 360, 370%, 3.7 times your investment. That's woof. I don't know how they're doing it, but that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, be safe out here because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know what stresses someone out. So make sure you stay safe. You could pull your money out and get it in your Cash App in 24 hours. Okay, so it's Bitcoin to Cash App. Cool. Okay. Well, there we go. We like 24 hours or less. That's for sure. This is great. All right. Well, thank you so much for letting us know because that has potential. All right. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. And remember, I always love you guys. If you ever need anything, just make comments down below in the comments sections or send an email to support at stopstrugglingnow.com. Either way, I'm around or on our social media platforms, our Stop Struggling Now group on Facebook, our WhatsApp group, Instagram, social media everywhere. All right. So I'll see you guys on Monday night at 8:50 p.m. And no matter what you do out here, no matter what the circumstance, just make sure you always keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.